Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Onchauskas, where we're going to have a look at the markets, what's happening with them right now, what levels to watch out for, and how to position yourselves for later on. But before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content of this webinar does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Also, a very quick reminder of our JFD Brokers research page here, where you can go in and have a look at different analysis that we do on a daily basis. We throw out different trading shoutouts, just technical analysis on their own, and of course we throw out our daily report every morning. So yeah, please feel free and check us out. So I think you can find something useful for yourself, guys. But yeah, so for now, yeah, let's quickly have a look at the charts. So the first one I want to start looking at is actually the Nikkei. So the Nikkei is at an interesting spot here, and we can see that it's finding its resistance here at around this level right here at around 23,050, which was approximately the high here that we had in May. So the highest point in May that we had. So this level is currently acting as a nice level of resistance. Certainly, if we continue pushing higher here, we might start taking out this level, and if we make a move higher and we break this level, then well, keep an eye on this one, on the next one, the 23,500 mark as the next potential area of resistance. But for now, of course, let's see what it wants to do with this level right here, the 23,050. Good level to watch. Like I said, it could act as a good initial level of resistance, but then eventually could get a break here. Certainly, there is a scenario where we could see maybe a move lower here. We could end up testing this upwards moving support line that has been running here from end of March. So could be a good area of support. And of course, keep an eye on this level right here at around 22,570, or maybe even slightly below that, this area that I've got highlighted, and that's around 22,355 approximately there. So good areas to watch here. Certainly for now this is looking more bullish than bearish, but for us to become even more bearish, let's say on this one, we would need to see a nice pop here through this 23,050 mark. Another one that I wanted to touch on is the Shanghai Composite, guys. So this one is a good one as well, and we can see that it has gotten rejected. It got rejected from this 3040 mark, approximately there. Now, certainly for now, just I would probably recommend to keep an eye on this one, because on one hand it's looking that it's wants to push higher. Now it got rejected at this 3040. Certainly we are keeping an eye on this downwards moving trend line. We could get a test of that trend line from underneath, and so we could get a test of this level right here as well, the 3130 approximately there. Now if these two and slightly above that, we do have this 3145 mark as well. So if we start breaking these two levels to the upside, well, keep an eye on this 3220 as the next potential area of resistance. And of course, I mean, on the bigger picture, it could start looking bullish in the longer term, because we could start moving higher here, certainly. But for now, because we're still underneath this downwards moving trend line, well, this area right here is still in the game, the 3040. If we suddenly get a move below this area, well, I mean, this could start looking ugly for this index, and we could start aiming for lower levels here. Now the next level to watch out for could be this 3015. A break below that could open the path towards this 2970 mark approximately there. Now the 2970 mark acted as a low point here that we had in September 2016. So of course, guys, keep an eye on it. Certainly good level to watch, but only if we get a nice break here below the 30-40 mark. So we are at an interesting area right now. We are kind of if you want to draw here a triangle formation here, and a descending triangle, so I mean we could end up breaking here to the upside, but then again, like I said, anything could happen and we can start breaking this 30-40 mark again. Let's quickly have a look at gold, and gold is moving lower today, and we are testing this upwards moving trend line here, guys. Now this upwards moving trend line has been running since around December 2016, so currently acting as a good level of support. Continue probably monitoring it, because if we get a break here below, this could lead to a test of the 1290 mark approximately there, and if that doesn't hold, well, it is opening the path towards lower levels. Certainly I'll just quickly get rid of these arrows here for now, but if we get a reversal here to the upside, and if we start breaking the psychological 1300 again, keep an eye on the 1307. Now a break above that could open the path towards higher levels. Certainly the 1307 acted as a good level of resistance in the past, we can see that, but I mean, if we get a nice break above this, well, this could change the game and we could start aiming for higher levels. So for now, guys, we continue monitoring it. We are just staying cautious with this one, because like I said, it could go either way. So for now, just keep a close eye on it, guys. Looking at the euro dollar, and the euro dollar is moving higher here today a little bit, certainly pushing away from this level that I was talking about, the 117,500, a good area of support. Now we're pushing higher. Certainly we're still below this next good area of resistance at around 118,250. I was talking about this one in my previous videos. So if this continues to push higher, of course, keep a close eye on this 118,250. If we get a nice break here and maybe eventually get a close above this level, well, this could open the path towards higher levels. And of course, we do have some good levels to watch on top here, but the main important one is of course the psychological 120. There are some levels that it could meet on its way, but like I said, we are keeping an eye on this key psychological 120 mark as a potential area for resistance. Also, we do have the 200 EMA approaching that level, so it's quite important to keep an eye on this area, guys. So on the downside, if we suddenly get a reversal back below here, below the 117,500, well, especially if we're going to get a close below that level, and of course a close below this 21 EMA shown here as the yellow line, well, this could look ugly for the euro dollar, and we could start aiming for this 116,500. But if the 116,500 doesn't hold, well, I mean, we do have this upwards moving trend line running here since January 2017, so could act as a initial good level of support. And of course, if it will start breaking that line, well, we'll just have to evaluate it from there once it gets there. So for now, guys, I would probably strongly recommend to keep observing these two areas here, the 118,250 and the 117,500. Let's see where it wants to close today. Quickly, I just wanted to touch on this Euro Aussie. Now the Euro Aussie's at an interesting spot as well. So we're currently testing this area here at around 200 EMA together with the 21 EMA. So we are below this downwards moving trend line here that's running since end of April this year. So certainly we can see a bit of bullish activity coming in here, a bit of buying action. So certainly we're not above the 200 EMA yet, but for us to kind of get a good bullish confirmation here, we would need to see not only a move above this 200 EMA and the 21 EMA, but also above this downwards moving trend line. So if we get a pop, if you get a nice pop here, and the price closes above this trend line, then, well, I mean, the downside could be off the table for now a little bit, and we could start aiming for this next key area of resistance at around 156,200. So watch out for this one, guys. On the downside, certainly If this reverses back down, and if we start taking out the today's lows at around 154 450 approximately there, and if we start making a break below that level, well, we could start aiming for slightly even lower levels. So, but for now, I mean, this is looking more bullish than bearish, so keep an eye on this downwards moving trend line. Let's quickly have a look at the GBP JPY. Now, this is probably one of the interesting ones from all the pound pairs, and GBP JPY initially made a nice move here in the morning towards the 148 mark, and also tested this upwards moving trend line from underneath. Now, this upwards moving trend line is kind of playing out to be a quite important line, and it has been running since April 2017. So of course, keep an eye on this level here on the 148. If we suddenly get a nice pop here, a break above, then, well, and the price, the rate could get placed above this trend line, and we could probably start aiming for higher levels. But for now, you can see that we've managed to retrace almost about 70 points here from this highest point that we had, and we're currently trading at around 147,300, and certainly this is a bit tricky right now, because even though it is retracing now to the downside, we're still kind of above this 21 EMA here, shown here as the yellow line. So keep an eye on today's close, guys. We could end up pushing higher again. Maybe this is just a small correction here to the downside, but like I said, we could start pushing it higher again. So certainly it's a difficult one, but to be honest, at the same time, it is an interesting one to see how this game, how this battle between the bulls and the bears will play out today. Certainly, who's going to win? I mean, at the moment, we can see that the bulls are really trying to strong and trying to push this pair into the red zone, but I mean, the bulls continue to fight back, and it's kind of still holding on as a positive candle here on the daily chart. Looking at the GBP CAD, now this is another good one, and certainly we are below this downwards moving trend line here. It continues to act as a good level of a good area of resistance. Certainly, we're keeping an eye on this area here. If we get a nice pop here to the upside, well, I mean, this could open the path towards higher levels and could push the downside off the table for now. But of course, keep an eye on this level right here, the 173. Just let me zoom in a little bit here, guys. The 173 150 approximately there. Keep a close eye on this. If we get a break below this, and especially we end up getting a close below this, we could push towards this 200 EMA for a quick test as well. And if that doesn't hold, well, I mean, this could start looking ugly for this pair as well, and we could start aiming for lower levels. But for now, we are stuck in this little area here. Let's see where it wants to break through to, and if it wants to break through this line here, well, I mean, like I said, like I've mentioned previously, we could start aiming for higher levels. But if this level doesn't hold, the 170 173 150 doesn't hold, I mean, we could start rolling over here to the downside. So for now, guys, it is an interesting pair. It's something to keep on your radar, so watch out for this one. USD JPY, good one as well. Continues to try and push above this key area of resistance, the 110-250, but still is kind of struggling with this level today, and certainly continues to trade here. It will be very interesting to see where this pair is going to close today. I mean, if it's going to close here at the same area where it is right now, certainly it's probably still going to look more bullish than bearish, because we could be still above this 200 EMA, and we could probably continue pushing to the upside tomorrow again. But still, I mean, also keep, well, probably I should say stay sharp here, guys, because like I said, we're not far from this upwards moving trend line here. Well, actually, should I probably kind of say it in a different way? Let's say like that. We are here within this upwards moving, small upwards moving channel here, this rising channel. Now, of course, certainly if we start breaking the lower bound of this rising channel, then well, it could start looking ugly for this pair. But for now, you can clearly see that we're still pushing higher, we're still within this channel, so that's why we're more bullish than bearish on this pair. Okay guys, I will have to wrap it up here. This is it was a very quick overview. I tried to kind of cover as much as I could. I hope you found it useful, and if you want to join me tomorrow morning in my Traders Espresso at 6 o'clock GMT time, 7 o'clock British Summer Time. But for now,